The markets have given a good start to the May series. For the June series, we hope that the markets will consolidate between the 7,050 to the 7,500, 550 range, primarily because I think most of the good news related to the election mandate is done with, and the markets would like to ideally take next steps on how the budget comes up and shapes up and what reforms are announced by the new government over the next 90 to 120 days. So in that respect itself, the markets might consolidate between this broad range, and cyclical stocks, specifically in the capital goods, infrastructure space, the banking space, can be expected to do well. Again, I think the whole premise behind these stocks doing well would be based on the factors that the reform processes, once initiated, will have a huge impact on the balance sheet and earnings of these companies post FY15. So from FY16 perspective, it will create a huge turnaround in terms of both EPS growth and return ratios for these companies. So we remain positive among the role players, specifically in the infrastructure space, specifically names like an IRB, Sadba Engineering, where we believe that the order book gives good revenue visibility and with good traction coming in terms of reforms, both on in terms of the premium payments being deferred, that was announced a few days back, and some concessions given by HAI would give further impetus to these stocks. A few stocks within the capital goods space, L&T posted a good set of numbers on Friday, and we expect the operating efficiencies to traction up for L&T in the coming days and weeks, and that remains our preferred picks within the capital goods space. Again, I think Thermax is something that investors can look out from a medium to long-term perspective, and something like KEC International. Clearly, I think if you look at Q4 results overall, I think the banking pack has performed reasonably well, with the private sector banks doing exceptionally well, and a few public sector banks doing reasonably okay as well. So in terms of asset quality, so though we have seen slippages, our expectations are that a few PSU banks like a Bank of Baroda have shown good traction in their earnings, something like a State Bank of India, and something like a syndicate bank or Allahabad Bank from the mid-cap PSU space can also be expected to do well. Out of mid-caps, I think Finolex Industries is something that investors can look at for a target of 300 over the next 9 to 12 months, or even something like a Gateway District Parks, where we believe there is huge potential in terms of value unlock, not only from the freight business but even from its cold chain subsidiary. And if JNPT volumes are expected to do well over the next 3 to 4 quarters, the stock can perform well. So overall, in a nutshell, I think the June series can be expected to be range bound between 7,050 to 7,500, but stock-specific action shall continue, and hope for a reasonable budget for the traction for the markets to continue on the higher side over the next 6 to 12